What if I told you that the happiest people in the world don't have more money than you? They don't have better jobs, they don't live in bigger houses, and they definitely don't have fewer problems. The difference is stupidly simple. They do 7 tiny things every single day. These habits are so small, so laughably easy, that most people scroll right past them. But not you. Not today. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through all 7 of these habits, one by one. Pay very close attention to the last one, habit number 7, because it ties everything together. Miss it, and you'll keep wondering why you still feel off even when everything looks fine on the outside. Stick with me, and you'll have a practical blueprint for a happier life. Here's what most people do the second they wake up. They grab their phone, they check notifications, scroll through emails, social media news headlines. Within 60 seconds, their brain is flooded with other people's problems, opinions, and drama. Then they wonder why they feel anxious before even getting out of bed. Sound familiar? I used to be that person. Every morning, I'd reach for my phone like it was oxygen. And every morning, my stress would spike before my feet hit the floor. It's exhausting. It's like starting every day carrying a backpack full of everyone else's worries. And if you're nodding right now, I want you to know you're not alone. But there's a way out. I know exactly how that feels. For years, I'd lie awake at night with a racing mind, replaying mistakes from 2014, worrying about tomorrow's tasks, feeling like I was always behind. I'd try to fix it with big resolutions, but they never stuck. Maybe you've been there too. You feel stuck in a loop of stress and exhaustion, wondering why happiness seems so elusive. The truth is, it's not your fault. Our brains are designed that way. But the solution isn't willpower or a complete life overhaul. It's much, much simpler. Then I stumbled upon something that changed everything. It wasn't a secret therapy or an expensive retreat. It was 7 tiny, ridiculously easy daily habits, so small I almost dismissed them. But I tried them, and the shift was profound. The twist? Happiness isn't about having more or doing less. It's about retraining your brain with micro-actions that build a new identity. These habits are the keys. And the best part? You can start using them literally today. No special equipment required. Let me show you. To understand why these tiny habits work, you need to know about your brain's negativity bias. Evolution wired us to scan for threats and problems. Great for surviving on the savannah, terrible for enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. This bias makes you fixate on what's wrong, ignore what's good, and keep your stress levels high. Happy people aren't naturally immune. They've simply trained their brains to counter this bias. Each of the 7 habits is a tiny nudge that rewires your neural pathways, turning down the volume on anxiety and amplifying contentment. Think of it as a software update for your mind. Here's the blueprint. 7 daily habits, none taking more than a few minutes, that collectively shift your mindset from anxious to at ease. They are the 2-minute morning pause, the gratitude snapshot, the 1-person compliment, the 10-minute move, the intentional unplug, the nightly brain dump, and finally, the identity statement. Each is simple, but the magic is in how they build on each other. As we go through them, imagine which one you could try today. Pay special attention to habit 7. It's the master key. This isn't a random list. It's a carefully sequenced set of actions that address your mind, body, and connection to others. By the end, you'll have a daily rhythm that feels effortless. Ready? Let's dive into habit number one. Habit number one, the 2-minute morning pause. Tomorrow, when you wake up, do not touch your phone. Not for an hour, not for 30 minutes, just for 2 minutes. That's 120 seconds. Instead, lie there, take a few deep breaths, and think of one thing you're looking forward to today. Maybe your morning coffee. The show you'll watch tonight. It doesn't matter what. What matters is that you are choosing what enters your mind first, instead of letting the world hijack your thoughts. This simple act reclaims your mental space and sets a calm tone. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I woke up feeling groggy. My hand automatically reached for my phone, but I remembered the rule. I paused, took a breath, and thought about the fresh croissant I'd have for breakfast. Just that one image, flaky, warm, made me smile. I stayed with that anticipation for 2 minutes. By the time I got up, I felt lighter, more in control. I didn't start the day reacting to alerts. I started it with a pleasant thought. That tiny shift rippled through my entire morning. You can do this with anything that brings you a flicker of joy. Research backs this up. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania found that the way you start your morning directly impacts your mood for the rest of the day. A few minutes of intentional calm can lower cortisol, your primary stress hormone, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's your body's rest and digest mode. So in just 2 minutes, you're literally shifting your physiology from fight or flight to a state of ease. Compare that to grabbing your phone and flooding your brain with stressful stimuli. The choice is clear, and it's so short you can't say you don't have time. So here's your action step for habit one. Tonight, before you sleep, place your phone across the room, or at least out of arm's reach. When you wake up, don't grab it. Lie still, breathe, and pick a pleasant thought. Do it for just 2 minutes. It's so easy you'll feel almost silly, but trust me, the impact is massive. This tiny victory will set the stage for all the other habits. Start tomorrow morning. That's habit one. Now, habit number two. This one is so overlooked that when I first heard it, I thought it was too simple to work. But it's based on solid neuroscience, and it takes, get this, just 5 seconds. The gratitude snapshot. Before you roll your eyes, this isn't about journaling or writing long lists. Most gratitude practices fail because they feel like homework. This one is effortless, and that's exactly why it sticks. Let me show you what I mean. Here's how it works. Once a day, morning, afternoon, evening, whenever, stop for literally 5 seconds and take a mental snapshot of one good thing happening right now. Maybe you're sipping a perfect cup of coffee and it tastes incredible. Snap. Maybe your dog just curled up beside you. Snap. Maybe the sun is hitting the window and everything looks golden. Snap. You're not writing it down. You're not analyzing why it's good. You're just pausing and noticing and letting yourself feel a tiny wave of appreciation for 5 full seconds. Why 5 seconds? Because that's long enough for your brain to register the positive experience, but short enough that you won't skip it. Your negativity bias is like a well-worn path in a forest. You default to looking for problems. Each gratitude snapshot is like carving a tiny new trail toward positivity. Over time, your brain starts scanning for good things automatically. It's a mini upgrade from what's wrong to what's right. And the best part, you can stack it onto an existing routine, like while your coffee brews or after you park your car. Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading gratitude researcher, found that people who practice small daily gratitude habits report 25% higher levels of happiness. That's a quarter more joy just from noting what's good. Other studies show it reduces symptoms of depression and improves sleep quality, all from something that takes 5 seconds. Compare that to scrolling social media for 5 seconds. That usually leaves you feeling worse. This is the cheapest, fastest mood booster on the planet. It's free, always accessible, and the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Your mission. Today, pick one ordinary moment and take a 5-second gratitude snapshot. Really feel it. Tomorrow, do it again. You don't need to remember every day perfectly. Just start. Soon you'll catch yourself noticing little joys without even trying. That's your brain rewiring. You might even surprise yourself by smiling at small things you used to ignore. It's that powerful. So go ahead, take your first snapshot right now if something pleasant is happening. Even the fact that you're watching this video and investing in yourself counts. Habit 2, check. All right, habit number 3 might push you out of your comfort zone, and that's exactly why it's so effective. It's the one-person compliment. Every day you give one genuine, specific compliment to one person. Not a fake, nice job, but something real and heartfelt. I know it can feel awkward at first, but here's the beautiful truth. When you brighten someone else's day, your own brain lights up in return. This habit creates a two-way street of positive emotion, and it's one of the fastest ways to lift your own mood. Let me tell you why. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I noticed a coworker handling a tough client with incredible patience. I walked up and said, "The way you stayed calm and empathetic in that call was really impressive. I admire that." Her face lit up and I felt a warm buzz. That's the power of a genuine compliment. It's not about flattery. It's about noticing and naming someone's strength. It could be telling a friend, "You always make people feel welcome," or telling a stranger their energy is uplifting. The key is specificity. It shows you truly see them. When you give a genuine compliment, something magical happens in your brain, a release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This is the same chemical that floods new parents when they hold their baby. It's a deep feeling of connection and warmth. And here's the kicker. It doesn't just happen in the receiver's brain. It happens in yours too. Complimenting someone is like giving a gift and receiving one at the same time. It's a neurological 2-for-1 deal. No wonder happy people do it often. They're literally bathing their brains in feel-good chemistry. Beyond the chemical boost, this habit shifts your entire perspective. When you're on the lookout for genuine things to compliment, you start scanning the world for good in people. You see their efforts, their kindness, their hidden strengths, and that positivity lens eventually turns inward. You become more aware of your own good qualities. It's a chain reaction. You see good, you speak good, you feel good, you become good. One compliment per day can fundamentally alter how you view humanity and yourself. So, here's your mission for habit 3. Today, find one person, a colleague, a friend, a family member, even a cashier, and give them a sincere, specific compliment. Notice how it feels before, during, and after. Did it feel awkward? Probably a little. Did it also make you feel warmer, more connected? Almost certainly. Make this a daily practice and watch your relationships and your own happiness bloom. You'll quickly discover that the more you give, the richer you feel. And that's a happiness bank that never runs dry. Now, habit number 4, the 10-minute move. I can already hear the groans. Exercise? Really? But before you click away, hear me out. The reason most people fail at exercise for happiness is they think they need an intense, hour-long gym session. That's overwhelming, so they do nothing. The secret is that 10 minutes is enough to unlock a cascade of mental health benefits. Not an hour, not even 30 minutes, just 10 minutes of movement a day. That's shorter than a typical YouTube video. What counts? Walking around the block, stretching in your living room, dancing like nobody's watching to one song, 10 push-ups and 10 squats, a quick yoga flow from YouTube. The point is to move your body, get your heart rate up slightly, and break a sweat if you can. It doesn't need to be structured or punishing. It just needs to be done. And you can do it anywhere, anytime. I like to put on a 3-minute song and dance while making coffee. By the time the song ends, I've moved for 6 minutes, and I add a few stretches. Done. A massive study published in the Lancet Psychiatry analyzed over 2 million people and found that those who exercised even in small amounts had 43% fewer days of poor mental health compared to those who didn't. That's nearly half as many bad days. And the type of exercise? Walking, housework, gardening, all counted. Another study showed that a 10-minute brisk walk boosts energy and mood for up to 2 hours. So you're not just feeling better during the movement. You're lifting your baseline happiness for the rest of the day. But here's what nobody tells you. The happiness from movement isn't just biochemical. When you complete a 10-minute session, your brain registers it as a win. You set an intention and you followed through. That tiny sense of accomplishment triggers dopamine, the reward chemical, and creates momentum. You start seeing yourself as someone who takes action, who keeps promises to themselves. That identity shift is one of the deepest sources of lasting happiness. So even on days you don't feel like it, doing just 10 minutes tells your brain, I am capable. Your action step: plan your 10-minute move for tomorrow. Maybe it's a walk after lunch, a dance break in the afternoon, or some stretches before bed. Put it in your calendar. When the time comes, don't negotiate. Just start moving. 10 minutes later, notice how you feel. The energy, the clarity, the sense of accomplishment. That's the happiness habit in action. And if you string a few days together, you'll be amazed at the cumulative effect. Habit number 5 is going to sound counterintuitive in our hyper-connected world: the intentional unplug. Every single day you need a window. Just 15 minutes, where you completely disconnect from all screens. No phone, no laptop, no tablet, no TV. I know, some of you are thinking, but I need to be available. But were you available 24/7 before smartphones? The world survived. You can afford 15 minutes. This isn't about being a hermit. It's about giving your overstimulated brain a moment to breathe. Constant screen time puts your brain in a state of continuous partial attention. You're never fully focused on anything. You're half reading, half scrolling, half listening. This fragmentation keeps your nervous system on low-level alert. You might not even notice the background anxiety because it's become your normal. But it's draining your mental energy, impairing your sleep, and chipping away at your happiness. And here's the sneaky part. The more you scroll, the more you compare your life to curated highlights, which breeds dissatisfaction. When you unplug for just 15 minutes, something incredible happens. Your nervous system downshifts. You start to notice sensory details you've been missing. The sound of birds outside, the feeling of wind on your skin, the taste of your food, the face of a loved one across the table. You remember what it feels like to be fully present in your own life. That presence is a direct antidote to the scattered mind. Happiness isn't found in the next notification. It's in the real, unfiltered moments that you actually experience. So here's your challenge. Choose a 15-minute block tomorrow, maybe right after dinner or during your lunch break. Turn off all screens, put them away, go outside, or just sit in a room without digital distractions. Be fully present. Notice what you see, hear, smell, feel. When your mind wanders to your phone, gently bring it back. This is your daily mini retreat. It's 1% of your day that can transform the other 99%. Do it consistently, and you'll reclaim a sense of calm you forgot you had. Habit number 6 took me years to learn, and it's a game changer for sleep and mental peace. The nightly brain dump. Most people lie down in bed, and their mind turns into a circus. Suddenly, every unfinished task, every worry, every embarrassing moment from 2014 parades through their head. The result? Tossing, turning, and poor sleep. The brain dump is the off-ramp from that mental traffic jam. It's a simple practice that externalizes your swirling thoughts so your brain can let go. And it only takes 5 minutes before bed. Here's the fix. Before bed, grab a piece of paper or open a notes app. Yes, a screen, but just for this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Write down everything in your head, every thought, worry, task for tomorrow, random idea, frustration. Don't organize, don't solve, just dump. Buy groceries, worried about presentation, forgot to reply to John, need to fix the sink. It's like emptying a cluttered drawer onto a table. The goal is to get it out of your head and onto something external. Why does this work? Your brain treats unfinished thoughts like open browser tabs. They run in the background, consuming mental RAM. When you write them down, you're telling your brain, it's okay, this is captured. You don't need to hold onto it anymore. This reduces cognitive load and signals safety to your nervous system. Research from Baylor University found that people who wrote a to-do list before bed fell asleep an average of 9 minutes faster. Better sleep means better mood, focus, and resilience, all pillars of happiness. Tonight, try it. Place a notepad by your bed. 5 minutes before you intend to sleep, do a brain dump. Write until your mind feels clear. Then close the notebook, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, tomorrow's me will handle this. Right now, it's time to rest. This nightly ritual will not only help you sleep faster, but also wake up feeling refreshed and less overwhelmed. Over time, you'll train your brain to associate bedtime with release, not rumination. Habit 6, done. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Habit number 7, the identity statement. This is the one that holds all the other habits together. If you take away nothing else, remember this. Every day you say to yourself one sentence, out loud or in your head, and you mean it. I am the kind of person who takes care of my happiness. That's it. I know it sounds too simple, but let me explain why it's the most powerful habit on this list. Here's the psychology. Your identity drives your actions. If you believe you're an unhappy, stressed person, you'll unconsciously make choices that confirm that identity, skipping morning calm, ignoring gratitude, staying glued to screens. It's not your fault. It's autopilot. but when you consciously declare a new identity, someone who values and protects their happiness. You start acting in alignment with that identity. The morning pause becomes natural because that's what a happiness-caring person does. The brain dump feels necessary, not optional. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says the most effective way to change is to focus on who you wish to become. Every action is a vote for that identity. When you say, "I am the kind of person who takes care of my happiness," you're casting a vote. You're programming your subconscious. It's not about perfection. It's about moving in that direction. Each time you repeat the statement, you strengthen that neural pathway, making happy choices more automatic. It's like installing a new operating system for your life. When you adopt this identity, all 7 habits click into a cohesive system. The morning pause is your first act of self-care. The gratitude snapshot trains your brain to scan for joy. The compliment connects you. The 10-minute move honors your body. The unplug protects your presence. The brain dump clears your mind for rest. And the identity statement reminds you why you're doing it all. Because you are someone who actively nurtures their own happiness. It's not selfish, it's foundational. You can't pour from an empty cup. Let me share my own experience. Before these habits, I'd wake up anxious, rush through my day, and collapse exhausted, feeling like I was on a hamster wheel. I started with just the identity statement. I'd say it every morning. At first, it felt weird, but within a week, I noticed I'd pause before grabbing my phone. I'd catch myself taking a mental snapshot of morning light. I started walking at lunch because that's what I do now. It wasn't willpower. It was identity-driving behavior. The shift was gradual but undeniable. Today, I'm not just happier, I'm more resilient. So here's your blueprint, summarized, 7 tiny habits that take minutes a day. Start with the identity statement. Tell yourself, "I am the kind of person who takes care of my happiness." Then try the morning pause tomorrow. Add 1 new habit each week. Before you know it, you'll have built a daily rhythm that feels effortless and fills your life with more calm, connection, and joy. If this message resonated with you and you want more practical wisdom like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Join a community of people who are choosing to invest in their happiness, 1 tiny habit at a time. Just hit that subscribe button and let's keep growing together.